All right, Mr. Taliaferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? I want to break this down in totality to give you guys an update. So here's what has happened. The Houston Rockets have gotten off to a poor start. They got 2 wins. So they beat a Laker team that hasn't gotten off to the greatest of starts, and they beat the Brooklyn Nets. They're struggling. They have yet to win a home game. They've gotten blown out a few times. Their plus minus is one of the worst in the NBA. James Harden is injured. His hamstring is tight. Carmelo Anthony is a shell of himself. And he doesn't play defense. Chris Paul, I think Chris Paul is going to bounce back and have a really good season. I just think it's going to take a couple games. Last year, Harden gave the Rockets such a big cushion. But I think the Rockets took for granted role guys. The Trevor Ariza's of the world. The Luke and Bob Montes of the world. Some of those guys made this thing work. And Clint Capella was more dialed in last year. Something ain't right about him. He looks like another one of the cases where I got my money and I'm just done. He ain't living up to no standard. He ain't playing well right now. Clint Capella is playing like trash. Absolute garbage. Daryl Morey is a risk taker. He's in that Rockets organization for a reason. He is not going to sit around and lose games. He's an analytical guy. He has a couple years to get this thing right. He understands that his window to help this Rockets team win a championship is now. He doesn't want to get fired. The owner has opened his pocketbooks. And Daryl Morey is shooting his shot. Daryl Morey looked up and he sees an unhappy guy sitting out games in Minnesota. Doesn't want to play. Called out his teammates. He don't care. Jimmy Butler is available right now. With the right offer, he'd be out of Minnesota. The owner wants him gone. Glenn Taylor wants Jimmy Butler out of there. Thibodeau wants to keep Jimmy Butler in Minnesota and work it out. But listen, the owner pretty much has told Tom Thibodeau, stand down. Your ass on the hot seat next. Stop worrying about what I got going with Jimmy Butler. I don't want him here. You better shut up before I fire you. That's what the owner's stance is pretty much. I'm not quoting him. Right? So, with Jimmy Butler and the mess the saga that's been him thus far, and I'm looking at how they're playing with D Rose being one of the ball handlers, I think it's a good time to move on from Jimmy Butler if you're Minnesota right now, because it looks like that Minnesota locker room is starting to come together, you know, and make better plays without Jimmy B. So, if you're the Rockets, you try to make as hefty an offer you can without giving up anything of your team. PJ Tucker and James Harden are really close, you know. And right now it looks like the deal will be centered around 4 draft picks and Eric Gordon for Jimmy Butler. They've offered the 4 draft picks, the 4 first-round draft picks. That's just that is as many first-round picks as you can offer another team. They offer 4 first-round picks over 8 years, I believe, to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Jimmy Butler. Minnesota is not budging right now. They don't want that. They don't want that trade. They want something in return. They want either a team to be able to take on Gorgie James' contract or to give them some young talent in return. That's why they wanted Josh Richardson or Hassan Whiteside with the Heat. So you're looking at this trade. I don't know if it'll happen. Daryl Morey is desperate. The Rockets are desperate. They know they got a couple weeks to get this thing turned around because, you know, you could lose. I mean, freaking, that Western Conference is tough to win games come March, April. So you don't want to look up and be 5-12, 5-15. You got to have this thing turned around quickly. And that's why they're making the offers. Again, they're not able to trade for Carmelo. They can't trade Carmelo right now. I don't think the Minnesota Timberwolves will be interested in it. Anywho, they can't. They're not going to trade Harden. They can't trade Chris Paul. They don't have a lot of assets right now. You can't trade Capella until December. You're stuck. You better pray Minnesota wants these 4 first-round picks. I was told that they don't want that right now. They don't want that. They want something else. Now, we'll see, because Jimmy B is sitting out every other game right now with soreness. He's trying to force himself to get traded. He said he got a 6-week plan to get traded. We'll see. Right now, the Timberwolves don't want that trade, though. They want more. We'll see. Minnesota, Houston, they're on the phone. They're in contact. Just not a lot of movement right now. I'll keep you guys up to date. I'm out.